nice. I think he might decide to pitch up, or he might come tomorrow for the pass.
Oh, that would be great. I didn't even know that you know somebody like that.
But yes, we got a busy weekend because yesterday Handra and I actually rode on the bus.
Yeah.
Quite far. We did 22, 23 Ks.
On the bus?
My bus.
I was going to say.
The tandem.
I can also get onto a bus and go around town for about 24.
Yeah. And then, I slept over there last night and he kept me very busy.
Yeah.
And today is hike, and then afterwards he's got to cycle with me to get the bus back home.
Yeah.
And then I've got some other arrangements tonight.
Okay.
And tomorrow we're doing the pass, and then afterwards Hester is coming through with me to the plot because the kids are going to start, ride horse.
Oh, that sounds like that.
Jennifer is doing
kids?
horse
Jou kinders, Hester?
Handra and Abby,
Alright.
She's
Ja.
reasonable.
Ek kan ons reguit aangaan hier nie.
Ja, jy kan aangaan daar. Dit is amper 'n korter pad na die
wat ek sê flip
botaniese tuine.
Ek het my bankkaart alles by die huis gelos en ek sien ek kan 31 kilos ry.
Ja.
So die shortest way nou.
Where is Vyfde Laan in Denver?
Vyfde Laan basically runs parallel to the main. You probably felt that long street Kitty.
Oh, yeah.
And Vyfde Laan basically runs parallel to it.
Does it come in there next to the botanical gardens?
No, it's fairly far up.
Oh, so you don't go to the botanical gardens.
You can.
You go into Fernridge and up.
You can. But what you basically do is you go up. You enter at the top of 5th Avenue.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of where we run. We sometimes run in there.
And then from there you go through a piece of forest.
Yeah.
And you basically get onto the railway line.
Oh.
You can either get onto the railway line. Ja, regs hierso.
Now, just be careful if we do walk on the railway line. We must listen out for those trucks because those trucks come up there quite fast.
Yeah, they do.
I heard them pass my house almost every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't live right next to the line. So.
Yeah, you won't hear them like you hear the train, but.
Yeah. Ready? Ready?
Camera.
Candid camera. Sun's out at 7. Mornings.
How are you?
I'm alright, and you?
Good, thank you.
I just don't know. When I looked at that route, look at the botanical gardens here. Stunning. Ek hou nie daarvan om eintlik te lead soms nie, want jy weet 'n mens nooit of jy besig is om te vinnig te stap, te stadig te stap. Te vinnig vir hierdie mense, te stadig vir daai mense.
Ja. Het lyk of almal by is.
Ja, ek het my GoPro in my sakkie agter. Ek het net besluit om hierdie ene te gebruik vandag vir 'n slag. Al is hy nie so stable nie, het hy daarom 'n paar meer pixels. Ag, dis mense wat van bo af kom, dis waar ons links gaan draai. Maar ek moet uitdruklik vir Hester sê, dis nie ek wat hierdie roete voorgestel het nie. En hier gaan ons links draai. Sommige van hierdie mense is fiks in vergelyking met my, hoor. Baie mense. And we're walking with about 20 people today. A suggested route called Varenkloof is a bit misleading, since not even I am familiar with it. And the problem is that these other hiking clubs create their own names. Personally, I'm convinced that the part we're going to be walking which is shown on that map of theirs, is part of Tierkop. So we've decided we're going to walk the part that we're familiar with. Hey Esther.
Hallo.
True, hey.
Dan moet jy daar weer stop nou, is nie?
Ja.
Jy moet daar opkom.
Okay, gaan jy eers en dan... Okay, ja.
Hier stop.
Okay.
Jy moet op hierdie klip kom
Okay, gaan jy trap hê, dan die trappe kom, daar sy koop.
en dan kan jy vorentoe kom.
Okay, cool.
Hier, gaan trap jy voet 'n bietjie.
Daar.
Hier, sit reg voor jou.
O,
Kom links.
ja. Dan sal jy reg, kan ek daar
He's amper, almost over them there.
go.
There you go.
Op.
That is about one of the most rocky parts. There's one or two other,
It is a little stream.
yeah. A little bit more.
Dan kyk.
Amazing. Yes, julle, maar jy gaan so diep in die woud.
Jo.
Absolutely beautiful.
Hou van die boot.
Wat ons vermoed hier, dit is nie nou toe. Daar van daar het ek hulle
There is a place called Free Run. Weet, is daar. Hy gaan weer dit voor tyd gekom. Dis baie
Ja, is er.
Dit is die pad, ja.
Sien pad. As hulle die dam wil sien, miskien op pad terug as ons 'n U-turn gaan maak.
Okay. Dam now. Is that the dam?
That's the dam there, which is about 300.
Dit is baie verwarrend want daar is daar boortjies op, hè.
Nergens nie.
Ek en Petra raak verskriklik verloor as ons alleen gaan.
Ek ry al die Ek van hierdie kant.
No, not from this side. I saw it at the Sungeyser. Sungeyser is... nee, ek thought nie.
This is part of Tierkop.
And that is a split, and you can do Tierkop. Maar dit is verder, dus I've never done it.
Ons kom 2 weke terug. 3 weke terug.
This is just a small section of when you're talking about the full route of Tierkop. This is just a section. Yeah. It starts at Witfontein, strictly speaking.
Alright.
If you intend to do the entire Tierkop, you actually theoretically start at Witfontein.
Yeah.
You get your keys for the hut there. If one intends to stay at the hut, which I never do,
Yeah.
I'll always go past that and I set up my tent further along the line.
Yeah.
But in theory, this is part of it, and it makes a half moon, goes into the catchment area, and ends up at the other old dam. You've got this old dam, you've got the other old dam. You cross the dam. Eventually you go up on the opposite side of that catchment area. You reach the hut. You walk past the hut. You get to Tierkop itself, the actual kop,
Yeah.
which is where I put my tent up. Then the next day, you're on the other side of the mountain. You go past the saddle, or over the saddle, and you're on the other side. And it takes you left automatically. And then eventually it just leads you can't get lost. It leads you straight past a farmhouse, which is right next to the Montague Pass.
Yeah, I was going to say there is a... Yeah, I had that in my head now, in the Montague Pass.
Yeah. And as you reach the Montague, like I do, I walk all the way down with the Montague to the toll house.
Yeah.
And when I'm really tired, my sister comes and fetches me.
Okay.
Actually, I made it all the way back home to Denneoord one day. I walked on the railway line instead of down with the Montague. I opted to go along the railway line, which is also along the top railway line. And then you cut left, or you cut right actually. So you start coming down at a point, which is pretty much here actually. Yeah, once you get off that top railway line, which we're going to cross, and nobody's even going to see the railway line because the bridge or tunnel is so wide that people are not even going to know they're busy crossing the top railway line. I am unfit. We are about to cross the top railway line, and people don't even know it. We are crossing it right now. Ons sit nou bo op die treinspoor. Bo op die treinspoor.
Was hier treinspoor?
Daar's nog steeds een. Ons is nou basies op die tunnel. Mense sien eers as mense hier afstap. Maar dit is 'n hele entjie. Dan kan 'n mens die treinspoor sien. Maar ons gaan nie hier stap nou nie. Here's a path, and I am wondering what the odds are that this is supposed to be Varenkloof. What I do know is that it only goes to the railway line and ends there, so it can't be. Anyway, they're all taking a break, so I just hope they don't follow me here now. I never left a message to say that they must stay where they are. Listen carefully, you can hear water there as well. Quite beautiful in these rocks here. Maybe one or two young energized people can come and have a look here if they wanted to. It's just a nice viewpoint. These rocks here. And we're going up, up, up. Nog so stuk opdraande, nie te ver nie. Dan is dit weer sistematies of skerp af as ons besluit op 'n U-turn.
Ja, dis swak.
Ja. Ek wil rook, so hulle kan koffie drink.
Jy moet opstap stadig en dan gaan.
Ek sal 'n rookbreek vat.
Jy gaan so om.
Tyd vir koffie kapitaal. How are you feeling, Cole? You're on candid camera again. You want to make your
Okay, dis is 'n stompie hier.
Dit is slaaphuis.
Waar is net as waar is hy
Jou,
links af hier.
documentary.
Ja, ja.
Okay, cool. Ja.
Ja, lekker.
Can I jump?
Dis nie ver van hulle.
Ja nee, dis baie gras.
Okay, wil julle ek probeer net 'n sitplekkie kry.
Kom ons gaan aanmaak. Kom ons doen
Sit.
gaan hierdie om die kussie.
Nee, kom ons vir Tasnien kans om te rus.
Okay.
Wie is das nie nou weet nie?
Op die kop of jy weet die
En ons
swak.
vat hierdie net lekker rus.
O ja.
Ons gaan anyway op hierdie nou gooi, gaan ons stadig.
Ja.
Staan nou net hierso. Maar jy sal nie lekker sitplek nie man.
Ja.
Daar by die klippe daarbo.
Okay.
Daar's klippe daarbo.
Ja, ek voel ek het daarmee stok uit kan.
Ons het nou 80% van die harde werk gedoen, sou ek sê.
Dis al.
Ja.
Nee, hier is 'n maklike paadjie. Hy's nie Ek het eers diflok aan.
There's no
Ja,
no serious bouldering, yeah.
no. But I thought it was going to be narrower.
Of course, I just clean forgot that you hadn't actually done this yet.
Not this specific one.
Yeah.
I done Tierkop the normal one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ek moet hom op hierdie klip sit.
Daar's effens shade ook teen die berg. Gaan ons nou hier om en op laat.
Ons gaan,
Soos klippe, maar dis nie klippe nie, dis bosse.
I'm recording you, Cole. You said you want to.
That's yeah.
Your all systems go with your little documentary and stuff. You put all the clips together.
Yeah, you're quite good at video editing.
Hier so afpak.
Well, I'm not exactly a professional.
Kan ek julle weg? Daar's nog weer every day. Iemand wat sit, ek gaan nou hier in die bos, kom.
Jy gaan nou rook.
Dis wat gaan nou sit. Dis nog tyd vir. Sorry, you want to come past here?
No worries, no worries. That's nice. Kyk nie like 'n baba broodboontjie. 'n baby broodboom. Wild strawberries.
It's a graduate.
Okay, now basically by myself here. The group is now split into two. One group is having a coffee break further down, and the other half have gone ahead, or at least I'd say more than half have stopped for a coffee break, and some have gone ahead. Can't get lost on this trail, but the whole issue is that this so-called foreign kloof that was meant to be done is totally unfamiliar to me, and since they asked me where it goes, I said that I looked at the map, and in my honest opinion, so-called Varenkloof is very much Tierkop actually. Problem is that all these clubs create their own names, and yet when you look at the map, it's the same map of other groups that have got another name. This is beautiful. This is beautiful flowers. Time for some photos of I know this is going to be a bit shaky because I'm not using my GoPro today. Time for a photo to you. We have still got another way to go before we're at the top. Ek sal mevrou Kaal bietjie gaan film daar. Thanks man.
Nou like if you bietjie weet.
How are you doing, Cole?
Hoe bene? Ran.
Ek voel net net fiks raakie.
My altitude.
Zijn nog oké met die paadjies?
20 push-ups, sorry.
600 meters.
600 meters.
We've probably got another 100 to climb.
Kijk.
Yeah, no,
Okay, Victor.
we're almost there.
Yeah.
But I should stop saying that because almost there can mean anything.
Yeah.
Almost there is very deceiving sometimes. That's like saying, dis net om die draai.
Ja.
Dis net om die draai.
Niet zo stijl en zo baie stijl as dit kan.
Tel, trap. Trap.
Paadjies is lekker.
Lekker groot trap. Groot trap.
Maar draai hy.
Ja, je moet amper bo.
Ag nee, dit is nie eens 100 meter nie. Dit gaan so op 620 weer.
Ja, dat is nie lankie.
Ja.
Dan kom ons by die
Eerste bos.
woud.
Ja. En dan die tweede een is
Bos.
Fern.
Daai woud is Tonnelbos.
Ek dink ook so.
Ja.
Ek dink ook
Dit
so.
is eintlik maar deel van die roete wat jy al gedoen het.
Ja,
As jy van kyk, hulle sê dis farming doen.
Ja.
En as jy daar instap, is dit net farming.
Fern.
ja. Daar was baie minder varings voor die brand. En na die brand toe kom baie van hulle in onder die woud in.
Van lekker hier af. Dat is nie sulke groot trappe nie. Amper soos daai wat ek in Martin ontdek.
Ja. I like the way some people walk around the little steps that are
Ja,
here.
hy lyk net seker afgestep.
Ja.
Of vasloop.
Maar ja, dis fyn nou. We'll see. Shopping mall.
And we are higher and higher.
Die dorp is daar, by die karre. Lot of cars.
Dis amazing. Wat een naweek se oefening.
Aan jou kan doen.
Terugsit.
Ja.
Want stop en ry nogal baie. So
Ja.
as jy 'n rhythm kan kom maar stadiger wat vir jou comfortable is. Okay. Maar jy stop baie kort. Die recovery is gou.
Ja.
Dis belangrik.
Ek is super onfiks.
Step.
Few steps. Small steps.
Ons lekker trappies.
Ja, shopping mall.
You're being recorded, Cole.
Okay.
You just said that I must. Ek is super onfiks. Nie fiks nie, onfiks. Harde werk is gedoen. Harde werk is gedoen. We're in the top forest part, looking at the indigenous trees. And we have got some shade. We've got some shade in the forest for a change. Dit is nie so modderig as wat ek gedink het dit gaan wees nie. Let's wait for Carl. Can hear them coming. I know that this is going to shake a bit, but the quality still, I think, the pixels still makes it worthwhile compared to the GoPro. Where's all this dust coming from? Especially cleaned this last night. It's almost like there's permanent dust on it of some kind, discoloration or something, and it's not like it's been exposed to sun. I keep it in a packet all the time. Jy sien Esther, hier is die ding. Hier is die ding, as 'n mens na Witfontein toe gaan, nee, jy gaan na Sandbox toe of jy gaan na Cape Nature toe en jy sien die formele kaarte wat Cape Nature byvoorbeeld het.
Ja.
Dan sal jy nou sien, hier staan, hier waar ons nou stap, is gelyk aan Dierkop.
Ja.
Maar sogenaamde Tonnelberg en Tonnelbos en Varenkloof en al daai goed, gaan jy 10 teen 1 nie kry op Cape Nature nie. Dis opgemaakte naampies wat die mense van hou. Vensterberg weet ek nie van nie, dit kan moontlik op Cape Nature wees.
Ja, ek kyk Vensterberg, ek dink is Cape Nature want ek bedoel hy is bekend as daai
Ja.
daai gap met 'n vensterlyn.
Ja. Ek dink enige mense wat die berg ken dit as Vensterberg net so goed soos wat hulle George Peak en Cradock Peak en so aan ken.
Probeer jy net links bly.
Okay, hoe ver?
Ja, hy's ook al ver af.
Okay, wag.
So bly maar net links.
Ladies, how are you enjoying your walk in the forest?
We're going deeper to the forest now.
You're on camera call. You're doing well. It's cooler here now.
Yeah.
Now we're in
fire.
the shade here.
Kneel down there. Oh, that's cool.
Jesse and Caitlin. I hope you don't mind. Kate.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind if you're on candid camera, just for a short while, Kate. No worries.
I don't mind the camera. I do.
It's just a remembrance of.
What time? I was here.
It's actually pretty difficult when you've got 20 people.
But
You've got
it's
20
safe.
people,
The more people, the better.
and some say no, others say yes, others don't want to be on it,
I don't mind.
others say, hey, yes, please. I want to remember it. I want to
Working at
look
the
back on
sweat,
myself. Yeah, working at the
Absolutely, I
sweat.
love
Yeah. Pretty sweaty. Listen to this piece here.
Ek hou nie daarvan om eintlik te
Psst, psst, psst.
What even the other?
die stok en solank hy druk.
All these. Actually, should have seen all. You weren't here before, eh?
No, first time.
This is all part of Tierkop here. All these weeds that you see at the bottom here weren't here before the fire.
Yes.
You know what got stuck there? My shoelace. It's still
Oh my
stuck.
word.
My shoelace.
You're
I'm going to put that on the camera there. Shoelace is still stuck there.
Now I'm falling.
Don't you
Sorry.
fall there. Now that is a bit of an unusual.
We've all got each other.
That's a bit of an unusual.
Let's just tie your shoelace a little.
I think I'm going to tie it a little bit more now. There were some ferns here, but they weren't as large. Yeah. This is initially, all of this was totally open between the trees here.
So you said there was no fruit?
No, it was just,
fern,
it was, yeah, these are also fern.
Yes,
They're actually invasive, eh? Do you know that?
No.
But
I thought they like
there's always some mixed feelings amongst people. The majority actually like to see them and reckon that they're pretty and so on. Knowledgeable people know that they're actually invasive. And if they grow too quickly, then some parts of the fynbos don't actually have a chance to grow back in time before the ferns take over. But hey, who cares? This is pretty. It's pretty. Clearly these trees up here are a bit more older, I'd say, than what the ones at the forest down closer to home are like. She going there with her phone, busy with her phone. Oh, what have I just pressed here? What have I just pressed here? We are in the most... That's what happens. That's what happens when you're looking at something else here.
Well, there's rocks.
And not the
Wow, look at this.
beautiful nature around.
Amazing. Oh my word. It's absolutely beautiful.
Want laas
It
ons
is.
was nie so
Esther, 5 jaar terug was hierdie varings glad nie hier gewees nie. Niks nie. Hierdie varings het ingekom na die brand. Selfs 3 jaar terug. 3 jaar terug, as jy nou kyk hier aan jou linkerkant waar dit so effens meer oop is, né? Ja. Dit is hoe dit was. Hierdie massiewe varings aan die linkerkant was nie eens daar gewees nie. Hulle het almal ingekom na die brand. Maar dis mooi. Dis anders te mooi.
Julle mag eet. Ons gaan nou eet.
Is dit?
Nou,
Sit in die sitkamer.
nou gaan ons eet.
Jan,
Ons gaan eet
get
met
up by the bridge.
mening.
Die preekstoel gaan sit.
Ek kan nie 'n preek nie. Dit is
En daar opklim.
wat is so.
Oom Bordel. Gaan reg, gaan
Oh, sit
Dit
reg.
wel.
nee, kom reg.
There you got a tree.
Stok irriteer my.
Kyk, waar wil jy heen gaan?
Cool.
Nee, jy kan nou verder hier.
You know that you do know you're not on the
Jy
actual.
gaan nou te ver op. Hy gaan nou onder die boom sit.
Well, I've got you there all up to your spot there, Cole.
Hy het sy varing gevind.
I almost thought you're under the impression you're still on the actual trail there,
No, I'm going off the trail because I want to check.
off the beaten track. Dis lekker. Hierdie is mooi. Dit is special vir my hoor. Dit is special vir my. Kyk hierso.
Hulle begin al meer. Kyk, daar begin hulle ook uit te kom.
Ja.
Al meer, al meer.
Ek het Esther, ek het gemengde gevoelens oor hierdie varings. Hier is dit iets anderste. Hier is dit vir my mooi. Maar dis dieselfde varings as wat jy kry daaronder in die dorp by sekere gedeeltes waar die fynbos nie 'n kans gekry het om terug te was fynbos. Toe kom die brand en die varings het oorgeneem en die fynbos kom nie deur nie, maar ek praat net van sekere gedeeltes. Seker so 2, 3 redelike groot gedeeltes daaronder. So dis weet jy dit is eintlik, ek kan nie eers die naam onthou nie, ek het die naam vir 'n feit gehoor iewerste. Dis eintlik 'n invasive species.
Maar weet je wat, ik
Die
moet
maak
zelf
in die
weten dat
boom.
je je voet aan die andere kant
Ja, neem toe gegly.
niet trap.
Dis dieselfde tipe boom.
Oké,
Okay.
dat is oké.
Okay, nou ja, dis over that's it call.
Just lift the back one quite high up.
Hi up there.
There we go.
Wait, I'll go and get it for you. I'll go and get it, Cole.
Just slipped out of my hand, this stupid thing.
You must get the string.
No, that thing when it's twisted, because I always swap in hands.
Hy gaan jou terg so. Het jy hom nog?
No, then I can't hold on. Then I can't hold on to the back, or to follow. Because then I've got it, yeah, otherwise I've got it, yeah, nee, ek het hom. Sorry, Esther, het jy jou sak? Nee, dat gaan my dik wees. Net soek iets om te drink.
Oor, kaal oor.
Okay. Ja,
Okay, that's about the only other hurdle, Cole.
sy later wel, dit is nie.
Amazing guy. Absolutely astonishing. Nothing stops him. And we're in the forest. Group keeps splitting up a little bit. That's naturally what happens when you've got 20 people. You've got your 2 young ones who like to do their own thing. They're fairly fit. Another group here that were actually far behind earlier, and they took off a bit earlier.
Ja, dis hy.
Julle moet sê as julle wil hê ek moet vir Karl so 'n bietjie lead. Okay, Karl.
Hy moet maar praat, ek weet nie.
Ja, ek gaan maar weer
Hier.
whatever.
Okay, yeah, you've got a little watch it.
So trap. Sit jou hand hier.
O ja.
Yeah,
moet
just
ek hier oor?
there. No, you can go around it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Ja.
Up.
Hou vas aan die
Philly,
stom. Steek uit jou hand.
Ek nie eers net daaraan gedink natuurlik nie.
Okay.
There you go.
It's not even a steep. En ek het daarop en dit was my dit was net ja. Nou gaan ons af het klink my.
Hier gaan ons bietjie af, ja. You got a rock on your right hand side,
Ja,
yeah.
skou aan die stick. Ek wil net ek gaan net hier los dat ek kan voel daar sy. Sê dit ja. Daar's stroompie daar.
Yeah.
Ja.
There's a little bit of water. There wasn't water here
Okay.
last time we came, about 2 weeks ago, because there wasn't rain. And this little bit of rain we've had has obviously made a bit of a difference.
Ons moet nou net voel waar ek my stok moet sit, waar ek moet trap.
Ons is nou slippery so.
O.
Don't slip. It's very slippery,
I'm
you
not
know.
going to step it. I don't have to step across into water.
It's very slippery. There's only a little bit of water there where your stick is now, and that's the water. You're over it
Just go
now.
around there. There you go. Baie klein stroompie. Oh, ja, af. Sorry.
Dan weer wortels op.
Okay.
With acres and acres of shade netting that must have cost him a fortune.
I'm sure.
Must have cost him a fortune to set that up.
Sorry,
Exactly.
my nose is so runny. I know it sounds terrible.
No, mine is also running. You really don't need to feel bad when you're going to hear me sniff still. No, that's the shade netting was in good condition for many years, and not quite anymore now. But I don't know what he's actually planted at the back of it, or inside it, under it. Esther is so kind to stick with slower people and make them feel like they're still part of the group. Not everybody does that.
I think Lucy is amazing.
Yeah,
Telling
He's-
faces with the kids and she also got diabetes.
not that I know of. Not that I know of. It's only her son.
I almost understood it. Just her and him, but now I understand. Just,
Yeah,
it's a big challenge, eh?
it is. It's,
So I was taking my to go. I really,
I've never known so much about diabetes, and I'm still not entirely up to scratch.
I have no idea. I know
With-
it's sugar deficiency or
Yeah, I've got to still learn about. I'm going to ask her. I should ask her today when time is more settling about the types. As far as I know, there are 2 types. Whether it's called A or B and C or something like that. We are pretty soon, very, very soon, at the highest point of the entire trail.
oh wow.
And I think that is the point where one takes a vote and decides whether one wants to do a circular route or turn back.
Well, I'll go with the majority of the crowd.
I could do a circular
Whatever
route.
Tasneem wants to do, 'cause we travel together.
It depends on the time. It always, I've noticed, of course, I keep forgetting to bear in mind if anybody asks how long it's going to take.
It will take as
That-
long as it will take.
Take as long as it will take. It always depends
That's a
entirely.
famous Peppa Pig line, eh?
Yeah, true. Everybody has first has a little coffee break, and then there's a lunch break, which is all very nice. I just keep forgetting that I must bear that in mind when somebody asks how long is it going to take. Then I must, in future, if anyone were to ask, say, well, if we have a breakfast break there and a lunch break there, or a coffee break there and a breakfast break there, you can add 45 minutes, probably equals so much. And we almost at the highest
You need
mountain.
some leaning.
Hier moes die wind erg gewees het. Check al die bome se kappe baie hy kan.
Ja.
Die wind was sterk op 'n stadium. Sterk. Is jy van George?
Ek
Ja. Nou, Hardenbos, okay. Nee, ek vra net want ek het net gewonder of jy weet hoe die wind by julle gewaai het so maand, 2 maande terug.
I'm the guy that must go clean up afterwards.
Right. That was
In one night, 5 trees fell.
Maar hy erns wat op winter keer gewaai
Ah, cute man.
Such a nice experience.
Nice. Dit moet 'n lekker werk wees.
Daai cyprusboom in die eilehok stuk ingeval by die SPCA. So sny ek nou die eile die cyprusboom af van voete.
Ja.
Maar om te keer dat die eil nou nie wegvlieg, moet ek nou die eil vang en ek het sulke dun materiaal gloves aan.
Is dit?
Nou nee, ek het hom baie vinnig by lief gekry. Soos net vang hom en druk hom in jou bors want dat is nie kop
So
kan rond te lyn.
They do their job.
Why not? Het is mooi om te sien hoe die berg herstel na daai brand. Jare en 'n half terug.
Eh? Very pretty.
Wat is dit nou? 12 plus 8. 20 maande en kyk hoe lyk die berg al.
20 months since?
The fire. 20, call it 21 because it was in that November. And you look at the mountain now, you would not think
No, you wouldn't.
that we have had this fire.
Wasn't that in 2017?
No, 2018. Then the entire 2019 went past.
Okay.
20
Just sunflowers, eh?
time flies. It was in November 2018. Stunning view. You basically have a view of George all the way with it.
Such a beautiful
That's basically what this part of Tierkop is about.
Yes, in the sand. This is so slippery.
It is. Thing is, I think very little sun ever gets onto this piece of trail here.
So,
Ek dink so. Ek dink dis 'n uiters goeie idee.
I say my family, and even Andre, he's like into cars and that, and my brother too.
is that now
Esther's husband. Yeah, he's
He
always
is, eh?
full of jokes, he's always laughing.
You remember when he came and fetched us at the bottom
Oh, yeah, with
of
the
Montague? I mean, he didn't hesitate to come. He came with meaning there
Yeah,
and just picked us up there.
he doesn't mind.
He didn't mind, no.
wonderful?
No, he didn't mind one bit.
It's like we lost in the picture here, huh?
Yeah, just don't get us lost when I'm too late.
You see, there they are.
Okay. I say.
There, they're going full steam ahead.
Past that little white rock there.
Yeah, you see, we spoke. Of course, we spoke to Cole, who wasn't that far ahead of us, but now you got that bunch.
It's all good, hey?
Yeah. Just chilling. Enjoy the scenery. Oh, we've got some red flowers. It's time for the red flowers.
This is for Hester.
So what's Sonia?
Where's Hester?
Hester.
Cole,
Hester.
tell it from me.
Hester.
From
There's a flowery for you, Hester.
Cole.
Especially from Cole.
Oh, thank you, Cole. Cole voel sleg omdat hy jou gefire het.
Jy's net temporary gevaar. Ek is jou net
latertjies in my kap.
Dis nou net ja, Cole. Hou jy by jou nuwe Cole?
Oh, eers ja.
Hou by jou eie
Kies in my kap.
whatever.
You've got a brilliant guide there, Cole.
She's very good as well.
all round.
Everybody is scared to guide me in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then but she just took me by the arm and said, "Come, ons gaan." Every part's the scary part.
Any part that gets some sun isn't so muddy. As soon as you get to the parts this time of the winter that don't get any sun,
Yeah,
then you will get
that's the thing.
a bit of mud.
See? Seriously. Yeah, dit stinks 'n bietjie daar. Maar is net omdat
What's her name again? That's leading him there?
I'm not sure.
That is
Sorry, Cole? What's the girlfriend's name?
Alicia.
Alicia. Yeah.
Thanks.
Actually, Hester's one middle daughter is also Alicia.
Alicia, beautiful name.
Yeah. That's how I remember Alicia.
It is a nice name.
Nice to meet you, Alicia. Hi. I'm Jessie.
Jessie.
Alicia is like all systems go.
Yes, are you related to Deborah and Craig Watson at all? Craig's got the active nutrition shop here. Oh, the gym.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
My family do come from around here.
No, they actually come from Joburg. Okay.
Jy stop voor jou.
Dat hy net gou 'n plek kry vir die. Okay, I'm over the rock.
Good job.
Afsak hier by my.
Waar kan ek
Waar jy
'n
nou
bietjie-
is, jy nou af. Nee, wow, trap hier so
Daai
op.
kant. Okay, cool.
En dan moet jy af.
Okay, cool. En dit is 'n stokkie daar. Kan ek daar?
Yes.
It's a brilliant guide, Alicia.
Absolutely. Very
Right.
good.
Here we go. Let me just grab on ek het jou. Is dit nou okay van Okay, ek kan so 'n bietjie dan sal ek apart afkom. Sorry guys.
Don't apologize.
You.
You're doing
Don't
such a
ever
good job.
apologize, Cole.
Yeah, no, we're in no rush.
I just want to climb down these things rather because it's slippery.
Rather climb than fall down.
Yeah. I wouldn't jump down something if I don't know how slippery it is. Okay, we've got carrots. Watch out for the carrots. That's what the wortel is, apparently.
Ja, read.
I know suckles lekker.
Yeah, they were
Oh, okay, they sound not far. Ek het die carrots. Steps, carrots.
You should see this when we've had 80 millimeters of rain.
Just water.
Just stunning water.
Oh, my sister.
Yeah, very little water.
And you can see it coming. I mean, you can watch this water. What's nice about this here is you can actually watch this water starting from up there already, falling, all the way down to there. But then the price you pay is some mud if there's been rain.
It's a bit of mad, nothing water can't clean it.
Nope.
My speaker's not good there. It's sunk deep in the ground. Yes,
Sludgy ground.
I've got muddy
unfortunately.
knees.
Sammy, you're so dirty, dude.
You look fine.
Yeah, it's part of the fun.
Part of the fun, I love
Part
it.
of it. I fell on my backside earlier, so my shorts.
Oh, watch it.
Yeah, nothing water can't fish.
There's a tap outside here. Oh no, I've got to get in the beer. I'd rather watch them fish from there.
Marco!
Polo. Weet nie hoe julle Paulo hier gaan kry nie, maar hy gaan vasit.
Dan definitely not a 4x4 like us.
Ja.
Or 2x.
Okay, laat ek eers die stompie rook. As ek het hom. Ja, dit zijn de lekkerste.
Is this the second canopy?
Yeah, this is like the short.
Thank you, man.
Remember, I did say
Was mastika.
There's no rush.
it's going to be a shorter piece of forest.
Dit is so pretty. Ek wil dat gleich die stik weer. Okay.
Kan jy aftrap?
Ja, wag, ek gaan op my eie.
Is jy ver aftrap hoor?
Wat is dit?
Nee.
O,
Net nog 'n bietjie.
ek dog dit is jou voet daar.
Sit jou voet nog onder toe.
Okay. Sorry, dit was 'n ander soort een. Ek het dit mooi vir.
Ah? Ja. Hier is 'n boom wat links inkom.
Okay, ek daar.
Regs aftrap vir 'n klip.
Okay.
Very inspiring.
She doesn't. I'm just.
Leading the blind.
Is my shoelace loose again? For the umpteenth time.
Oh, I irritated when those laces go in. Okay.
Bugs the
Ja, nou.
hell out of me. And it's always, and I especially went out of my way to bop out as properly as I could.
I must actually show you what Lisa taught me on the board. You remember?
Yeah?
That funny knot of theirs.
Yeah.
Oops. Hulle try vang.
Yeah, one gets all kinds of knots.
Ja.
All
But when they
kinds.
get too technical to undo.
Yeah.
Baie keer as iemand val en jy probeer hulle keer, dan val hulle is moeiliker as wat hulle sou
Moet ek net los en sê val lekker.
Dan weet ek waartoe gaan nou.
I'm just guessing that you're in focus
O,
here.
nee, moenie met my
You should
keer,
be.
As jy val gaan
I
ek nie
think so.
val nie. Ek is net bang jy val en keer ek vir jou.
Ek het met my ouma geleer.
O, dis interessant, so ek moet jou net los as jy wil val.
Look at all the
Van 'n losse hulle.
dust on here now.
As jy wil val sê net
And
dan
it's,
sê
we
ek
haven't
val.
had dusty conditions.
Jy moet video ek soek hier.
Ja.
On the lens here, I'm taking it off while I'm actually recording here. I'm trying to get some of the dust off.
Ek het my eie YouTube channel, maar
Dust is part of our
ek
lives.
sal jou nog
It's a dusty life.
ek sal jou 'n WhatsApp stuur met dit.
Let me tighten
Dan
this
kan jy nie die
shoe. I've been waiting for a while here for Cole and Esther to catch up. All systems go. Ons koelte vir 'n hele rukkie so. Hulle as hulle wil fast forward, dan moet hulle maar fast forward. Ek wag vir julle.
Heerlik.
Dis nogal.
So, Karl is nou baie wortels. So jou voete kan vashou.
Ja, nee.
En ek dink dis waar my voet vashou.
O, moontlik.
Oh man. Toe lê ek amper balans in 'n lyn.
Ja, jy sien. Ek wou al net gryp.
Weet jy my?
Wag, ek wil net my stok op plaas. Ja, okay.
Kyk.
Bietjie slippery daar.
Af jou voet hierso by jou hand.
Ja.
Moenie te hard trek nie.
Nee, hy's los.
Want hy is los
Ja.
en dan bly net
Net daar,
Bly
okay.
wat ek weet gou myself omdraai.
Okay.
Okay. Hou vas aan my.
Dis
Kyk,
basies
kan ek daar trap
Ja.
op.
amper soos wortelgrond.
Ja. Okay, ek wil net voel.
Weet jy my? Of wil jy vashou aan hierdie grond?
Nee, toe maar. Ek gaan eerder so. Ek gaan nie aan jou.
Ek sak 'n bietjie af.
O, is net omdat dit afgaan. Ja.
Ja, maar dit is hierdie wortels dis boomwortels en
O,
goed
ja,
wat is
ja.
oploop.
En
Of
as ja.
Lê maar net links.
Ja. As jy gly dan
Ja, jy gaan net op jou gat sit, dis al.
ja, ja.
Maar probeer om meer op soliede grond te bly.
Ja, ek probeer.
Right? En dan as jy nou hier kom waar ek nou staan. Ja. Rek lekker ver met jou linkerbeen oor. En dan skiet jy jouself oor. Okay? Kom nog ver. Lê kom nog.
En dan wil ek gou my linker.
Ek hoop nie julle gee om as ek julle rekord hier nie.
Kom, bly net links net.
Kyk hoe.
Hierdie battery is nou so te sê pap en dan slaan ons oor na die
As jy ja, stomp het ons oorklim. Ja, ek lê.
If ek dit daan kry. Ja.
Dis waar. Look how this fine boss is coming through with yellow flowers are coming out now. This battery is very close to flat. Furthest, am I getting this right? Yeah, there's George Peak, the highest one on the left hand side.
Wonderful.
And there's Craddock Peak. You know how deceiving this can be. George Peak looks higher. When you look at it from here, George Peak actually looks higher than Craddock Peak.
Yeah, that's
Can you believe that Craddock Peak on your right hand side there is 200 meters higher?
100. Yes.
That's, I'm just talking height, I'm not talking distance. 200 meters higher than... Yes, it works. How are you feeling, Jessie?
Feeling great. Hi.
Stunning view.
Wonderful.
Without exaggerating, without making up stories. You're in the heart of a green, well refurbished mountainside here. Green.
No stretch out of here.
I could swear that.
No more rock climbing.
Yeah. No more rock climbing. This year is without any doubt. I could swear this last bit of rain we've had in the past week has made this even greener than what it was before that. I could be wrong.
Blocking.
This is... Yeah. Waterberg. Tierkop basis. Daar's nie enige berg naam vir my. Ander mense sal een of ander berg naam hê. Ek ken dit net as deel van die tuinroete. As dit kom by peaks, dan is ek bekend met George Peak, Craddock Peak.
You guys know your peaks.
Craddock Peak, ja. Vensterberg, I suppose, is 'n sekere bekende naam teen hierdie tyd. Dit is 10-1 staan dit ook op kaarte, op toerisme se kaarte. Ek aan, ek kry die gevoel Vensterberg is 'n formele naam. Daarmee is ek bekend. Hierdie ander goed soos Losberg, toe ons nou die pas toe pas gestap het. Ek weet nie waar kom my name vandaan nie. Iemand wys vir my toe ons Vensterberg stap waar die naam vandaan gekom het. En net as gevolg van twee spesifieke rotse waar jy nou deurkyk. Ek moet sê is mooi rotse, maar dit is vir my nou nie bygeval het as 'n venster nie. Maar iemand het besluit dis 'n venster en daar gaan ons. Nou is dit Vensterberg.
Things change over years.
Ja.
Maybe it was a looked like it.
We walked there.
Oh, I can see now where we were.
And then we met down at the road there. And we almost at the highest point here. It's a downy and then another uppie.
It's been quite a far park, eh? I think on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about 7 for me.
I'm going to look on this. I'm still logging it on Wikilog.
Maybe even 15.
But because of the rain, it can help like us.
Yeah.
It's slippery.
Let me tell you something, if it's been very dry and there's been no rain, sometimes on some trails that loose dust on your rocks can actually be more slippery than mud. Hmm?
I can agree with you.
Yeah. Now I've often found I generally prefer mud actually, because if it's very, very dry and all that sand is on here, you're more likely to slip from that slippery sand.
Yeah, I think it's actually the mud that makes it slip than
Yeah,
the sand or the
yeah.
water itself.
Now I was lucky enough to watch that dam being opened, the Sluice.
Oh wow.
That was a sight to behold. Ek het kom stap toe dit terwyl dit nog so 'n bietjie gereën het. Ons het baie reën gehad. Die reën was amper klaar, maar nog nie heeltemal nie. En ek het besluit om te kom kyk of die dam vol is, maar ek het nou nie verwag. I wasn't expecting
What a treat.
the sluices to be opened, because that's got to be done manually. That is when the labour gets taken on this road all the way up to a point. You can't drive to the dam with this road.
So awesome.
Up to a point, and from there they've got to
I remember
clamber down this
the first
steep.
time I went to the Kariep Dam. That dam is massive.
Yeah. That was really interesting, nice to see. Even if it isn't the biggest dam in the world,
It's still something awesome.
it's still something awesome with a mountainous background.
Ja, dat wil ik Kariep Dam. Nou ja,
Hierdie ou George nou.
die ou dam.
Ja. Dit is net die een en enigste keer wat ek die geleentheid gehad het om te sien hoe daai sluis so oopgemaak word. Maak hulle hierdie sluis weer toe en die ander weer oop. En die water wat daar uitgekom het, wat natuurlik nou alles in die tuinroetedam dan inloop op die ou ende.
Think of how much energy passed through those gates there.
Ja. Whoever built it did a good job with engineering at
Our
least.
forefathers, hey?
Even if
All
it,
these dams are from back in the day.
yeah, even if it leaks like a sieve,
So where does it leak into? Where does the water go? Does it get captured somewhere?
oh yeah, it runs straight into a river basically. All of that, you see all this downhill here, runs all into there. Stop. Now we almost on the railway line.
Well, they go to Woodville, so, but yeah. It's dual medium, but majority of the kids are full. Yeah, but now it's the Corona, it's almost one day English, one day. Now we know exactly how far it is. We've got this before.
This is,
It's not pretty far. Yeah, I just think you were up there.
we could walk on that off-road there if we wanted to. I think all in all the distance is probably a bit further than, little bit further. Hmm?
That way, where did you go back up to the mountains?
If you go away?
That way.
Actually, believe it or not, you're gonna end up in Oudtshoorn eventually.
Really?
Yep. You're gonna cross the Montague Pass and you're gonna end up in Oudtshoorn. One could go there as well, but the thing is, we basically at the horseshoe anyway, where it makes absolutely no difference whether you turn left or right, whether you take the top one. Actually, it does make a difference, because if you take this top one, it systematically spreads out like this. Here's your horseshoe, and that goes further that way, that goes further that way. So now if you've taken the top one, you're going to get to a point, if I was with you, where I could show you how you turn left and get off the trail to get onto the bottom. Well, ladies and gentlemen, sorry?
So when is this railway going to end?
We're almost at the end of it. Can you remember how close we were to the end when we went off it? We were here. We were walking at the top here. Can you remember how quickly we got off and turned left into the street?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that should tell you how short it still is before we get off it. So, ladies and gentlemen, recording again, yeah? I haven't recorded virtually nothing of the railway line, and we're almost at the end of it, which makes the end of this trail. Many of the team have gone ahead, since you cannot get lost, and have probably reached the botanical gardens already, and I'll probably, for all you know, halfway home already by now. And then other people are just taking their time. There's no need to rush today. And we're almost at the point of turning in and getting off the railway line and onto 9th Avenue. So looking forward to that. It's been a good walk today. And if anybody has watched this, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry?